Okay, we're back for however long this lasts. Okay, Ernie. So where were we? We were talking about
Being unemployed
being
and
at a
looking for jobs, and
how you would never go back to retail.
that was one of my
And
plans was to never go back to retail.
we won't say where you.
Having spent many years in the retail field, and then had gotten out of it and found decent jobs, I was just sure I was not going to have to go back there. Well, that's where I am. Part-time retail selling stuff. So
So you got you. I remember that the only hit that you got for working was seasonal employment, which ended. You thought you were gonna get hired on, and then a full year later, you got to go back to work for that company.
it was actually only 6 months,
Six
but
months. Oh,
anyway.
okay.
But
All right.
yeah. I mean, jobs were pretty much for the most part, interviews didn't even exist.
Well, you
So
got a second interview. You got a
you
few
know,
interviews. Yeah.
but yeah, so most of the time, even first interviews didn't exist. So you know, some of them might, I wonder if it was, age discrimination. Now that I'm in my 40s, one of the tricks I later learned, although it doesn't have any effect on my current position, is to leave, dates off of the resume. And of course, I'd always been putting my, college graduation date in there because I had been taught to do that. So, well, now, you have to dig much, much deeper to find out, that I'm in my 40s now. Um,
Dye your
but,
hair and get all in there with your Kenneth Cole clothes or whatever. Yeah.
so anyway, but anyway, now, I am at least employed and, you know, have hope of maintaining some employment for the near future. And
So we are a single part-time income family, which means that our disposable income is zilch. And before Occupy, we started filling our time with the obsession over me finding out at school through my own research that I would never eat a GMO again. And this led to GMO Free Portland, which led to this whole thing. So we were already doing a life of attempting to get kind of a non-profity kind of a thing going off the ground. Oh, leaf blower. Gross. Um, so that was already the beginning of let's try to live with absolutely no disposable income. And so we were doing that already. Thank God. So this leaf blower is a problem. Let's move. We can be mobile.
all right,
Um,
you
where would
just pause it. So,
can't pause it.
oh,
We can go interview the leaf blower, and then maybe he'll stop.
and he's already been on our porch, so it
Okay.
shouldn't take him long.
No, he's not porch. He's sidewalk. This is fascinating. This is riveting. This is like Geraldo Rivera looking at Al Capone's tomb or whatever it was. I remember that. That's how old I am. I got the joke of natural born killers with Geraldo. Okay. Um. Okay. So my thing with Occupy is I was already down there holding a sign, trying to get people to come to the October 16th rally, starting October 1st. So I was going with this gigantic sign. Remember the sign?
We still have the sign.
The sign has its own website because it was just a silly promotion thing where I actually got people to take pictures of it, and it was this big, horrible plywood painted, beautiful sign that I learned that I could actually put on wheels and be left alone, which I used that information later. That's how we kind of got away with the cart that Mr. 60 made. Is I was told by the city that I was okay to stand out there and just basically park myself all day because I was on wheels. And that was because my sign was sitting on a suitcase that had wheels. so it wasn't a table. That was the I couldn't have anything permanent there. So there's a little, and then I saw Occupy come in, and I started going down there, and pretty soon I'm bringing home like 5 names a day of people as if Ernie would know who they were, which I still do. Although now he can actually watch them on on this channel and remember which person it was that he's met how many times. But they know about you. Okay, so more about you and the vigil. A day in the life of trying to get down there. I say trying because I've been experiencing some OCD symptom type stuff, and what takes me half an hour, it takes me 2 hours. But that's not included in the time that I mentioned about how long it takes me, because that's my problem. Anyway, so what all do we do together?
We, you know, go get coffee from the store. We, get it ground up and prepared. Cleaning the, pots and pans from the previous, coffee making. Uh, and getting it into the, containers to pour it, down there. Getting it on
There's a
the.
process for the coffee because it's a gallon and a half that I make. Well, no, it's between 3/4 and 1 gallon, but it's a concentrate, so I end up with 2 gallons of coffee. So
It's a bunch of
um,
coffee.
a bunch of coffee, and
More than most people, drink in a single day. But it's, being given to
even me,
a whole bunch of people. So
right? Okay, so besides, okay, so then there's the you pack my little lunch sometimes. You've made me lunch.
little sandwiches, pieces of fruit, energy bars, whatever you might need over the long haul of the night.
And the have you seen my phone? Have you seen my keys? And then later, do you have your phone? Do you have your keys? We do that. Anyway, you've walked me down to the bus stop. I say it's 6 or 8 blocks away. I guess it depends. I'm thinking downtown blocks. Out here, it's one. No,
It takes about 15 minutes to walk from the apartment to the stop.
yeah, it's just hard because it's a terrible little. I'm pushing a walker, which that was humbling when I was walking around with a walker. Obviously, not physically disabled. Although when I get tired, you can't tell. But when I'm lugging this thing around, running, I feel like, oh, geez, people are angry. But then they see all the stuff on it, including sleeping bags, and they just assume I'm houseless. And, then I get that bitter look, different bitter look. So, anyway, that was humbling because at first I was ashamed because I didn't want people to think I was. Then I started realizing, God, that's what I'm fighting. Shame on you guys. Quit it. And now I hold my head up fine. Yeah, so that was weird. Um, and then at night, or I should say in the morning, next day. Oh, we talk during the day, and sometimes you used to like, text me, like, I see you on live stream from various events. I get home the next morning, and you basically put me back together, or I curl away. And then either I spend a little time with you because you're going to work, or you don't see me the rest of the day. And the following morning, I start to kind of become myself again. If it was cold, that takes longer because I get dehydrated even though I drink water. I still I can just feel, I get somebody says, "Oh, you have homeless hands," because they were looking at the sides of my fingers, and they got really dry, and they started to kind of